and welcome everybody to our third pub snack edition of Dis After Dark. I'm Nick.
Paul D.
And Paul W.
Yes, and it's just the three of us tonight. We can make it if we try. Just the three of us.
Three's more than enough. We're more than up for it.
I think so. Yes. So we'll be doing the next round of the results, and we'll start off, I suppose, with the results of the last one, which is going to be a bit controversial. There's no lying about it. We did have one clear winner. Well, technically we had two. In the art of animation, and we also went sweeping through was the BoardWalk Inn. Now, we're putting 4 through, aren't we?
Yeah.
Like in each round. But there were 3 with the same amount of votes. 18% share. So, not the singer, by the way. So with that in mind, and it's the 3 of us, we're going to have to fight to death. No, we're going to have to try and see if we can vote for 2 to go through, really. So I suppose the best way of doing this is if I announce the 3 that it's between, and if we vote for the one we like the least of those 3, and then if one stands out, then that's the one that gets mothballed and the other 2 go through. Does that make sense?
Sounds like a plan.
Like a kind of reverse vote. So the 3 that we have to vote between is the Yacht Club Resort, Disney's Saratoga Springs Resort and Spa, and Fort Wilderness Resort and Campground. So they are the 3. They are the 3. So with that, which means, by the way, if you haven't paid attention, that the Grand Flow, see you later, not getting through.
That's a shocker, isn't it?
I think that is quite a shock.
Flagship resort.
Yeah.
With all those great restaurants and
snotty people.
Yeah.
Snobby people.
And people didn't like the teddy bear lady.
Could be that.
She was scary.
I'm not arguing with that one. I did see the pictures. Right. So with that in mind, does anyone want to put their hand up first and vote for the one that they think is the least of those to them?
Yeah, I'm going to pull out my revolver. It's only got 1 bullet in it. I'm going to shoot Saratoga Springs in the back of the head.
Oh, like an episode of The Walking Dead. Or
I'm actually going to join you as well.
Yeah?
I'm going for Saratoga Springs as well.
Wow. Well, I was going for Fort Wilderness.
I thought you might.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's good, because that means we've got 2 winners. So that means the Yacht Club Resort and also Fort Wilderness go through.
Excellent.
And, Saratoga right at the last knock-ins got Lennied. Not Lenny Henry, of course. Right. So is anyone drinking?
Yeah, I'm drinking.
Yeah. What are you drinking?
Yeah, I'm drinking, and it's all about getting the season right. I'm drinking mulled wine.
Nothing like a bit of mulled wine in April.
I said to Kerry, my wife, I said, could you stick us a couple of bottles of cider in the fridge? And she said, no, you've got half a bottle of mulled wine there since Christmas. You bought it. You're either going to drink it or I'm pouring it down the sink. So, well, that wasn't happening. So it went straight in the microwave.
I was going to say, I can't see a Scotsman allow booze to be poured down a sink. It's just wastage.
No, we had to be under the kitchen cupboard with the U-bend off, lying with my mouth open.
Beautiful. If anyone wants to draw a picture of that scene, I'd love to see it. Mr. Upperpool.
A nice glass of refreshing Diet Coke.
And to balance it out, of course, that's mine. That's Pepsi Max Cherry. So that's both major brands of cola represented. Other brands of cola, of course, are available and not quite as delicious. So, with that in mind, this week we have another 7. I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8. Sorry, it can't count. 8 results. So they are Disney's Pop Century Resort, Dynasties?
Disney's. Is that the
Dynasties,
alternate?
yeah. I'm not even drunk this week. Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge, Disney's Beach Club Resort. In fact, all of these are Disney, so I'll just skip that part. Wilderness Lodge, Animal Kingdom Villas Jambo House, Animal Kingdom Villas Kidani Village,
Village, yeah.
the BoardWalk Villas, and Polynesian Villas and Bungalows.
Right.
So, I suppose that we should start this list off at the top. One that we talked about a little bit last week, and the one that I've been itching to talk about, because it's the one I know most about, and that is Disney's Pop Century Resort. So, I think we established it was a late bloomer, 2003. I think it first opened. And it's a pretty big resort, isn't it?
It is,
Would
yeah.
have been even bigger.
It was supposed to be bigger, yeah. But it's still a pretty big resort in its own right.
Indeed.
So, you stayed there, Nick. I know you have, yeah?
Yeah.
And Paul, have you stayed there?
I haven't, no.
Okay.
And you were the king of Pop Century, weren't you, Paul?
I've only stayed. I'm really the king of the All Stars.
Oh, sorry, the All Stars. Yeah.
That's all right. But I've stayed at Pop Century only one time. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It's very similar to the All Star, obviously, slightly different theming, but same basic layout and plan.
And I mean, the thing is, I think the value resorts get a bit of a bad rep, personally, because yes, they are value resorts as the name suggests. But I mean, to me, a hotel room should be clean, should be tidy. But I'm there to sleep. I'm there for a few hours. I'm not one of these people like when I'm at a Disney park. I need to have somebody. I need someone to be able to be close to the park so I can go and enjoy it as much as I want to, and just kind of enjoy myself like that. I don't understand why people need to have 5-star luxury, but maybe it's just me. Am I wrong there, or?
No, I think it's horses for courses. I think we started at the values and we've had some fantastic holidays at the value resorts, and they're big and they're bustly. They've got a big food court. They've got the biggest food court I think of any of the resorts, because that's really the market that they're catering for. They don't have table service restaurants, but it has got a bit of a buzz about it. If you go in the food court in the morning, even at like 6 in the morning, the place is packed. People are getting ready for the theme parks. It's quite exciting. So, yeah, it doesn't have all the amenities of a deluxe resort or even a moderate resort, but it's Disney themed. You get all the benefits of staying on site. The transportation, early magic hours, and all of that. And it's a reasonable cost for what you get.
Yeah, it's got I think it had a nice shop. I mean, you said the food court was very good. I think what I liked about the food court there is that you had so many different options. And I had some favourites there as well. Certainly, last time I was there, so like one of my favourite not very good for you meals was the fried chicken at the 50s Primetime Diner, which you could also get at Pop Century.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I think it was only certain days at the time, definitely. Like I think it was like the Wednesday special or something like that. But you could have that. I think they had a meatloaf another time as well. But I think because of the obviously the name gives it away about Pop Century, so it's about pop culture. I liked the main reception area. It had lots of like old Disney merchandise and things from various TV shows and films, like memorabilia, that kind of stuff. I like you. I think the buzz around the place was great as well. But the thing that I really loved the most, and I mean this is obviously the same with the All-Star resorts, is the landscaping. I think it's so well done. And so for those that haven't been there, it's broken down into different decades. So there's a section for the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. And was there a 90s? I don't think there was a 90s, was there?
Yeah.
Was there a 90s?
Yeah, the 90s, yeah.
Okay. I obviously didn't go around that bit, so that's great.
There's a giant computer is one of the buildings.
Okay.
Don't know if you remember that.
No, I don't.
It's like an old Apple or Amstrad type thing.
Oh, wow, okay. Because nothing says 90s like a massive computer. In fact, actually saying that, I've actually pulled up a list of what's there. So I was in the 70s area. I remember that much. And so around there you had massive 8-track tapes. Now, I knew what 8-track... I was familiar with what 8-track was. But I didn't actually... I don't think I've ever seen in my hand an 8-track. So I found that quite hilarious, really. There was a massive foosball area, which was quite fun. So like table football for us, for English people. A big wheel, a mood ring, but also a Mickey Mouse phone. And I actually have this phone. I have the real version of it. So we didn't know that when we booked it, and obviously we didn't know what area we was going to be in. So we thought that was really funny. So that's where I stayed. But the 50s area, there's bowling pin staircases, a Lady and the Tramp statue.
I think that's where we stayed. We were right by the Lady and the Tramp.
Then, yeah, that would make sense. That would make sense. A 45 RPM record, transistor radio, jukebox, and a bowling pin pool, of course. It's probably one of the more famous bits there. The 60s had a massive yo-yo. And a yo-yo staircase as well. I don't remember the yo-yo staircase, but I remember the massive Duncan yo-yo they had there. Hippie flowers, peace symbol, because nothing says 60s like hippie flowers and peace symbols. A Baloo statue with Mowgli and some Play-Doh, a massive tile Play-Doh. The 80s area had a Rubik Cube staircase, Roger Rabbit statue, a giant woman, which is really fun to explain to the kids what that is. Mr. Potato Head, Pac-Man, and Michael Jackson. I don't remember Michael Jackson there, actually.
No.
I remember seeing that bit. And the 90s was a cell phone staircase, a giant laptop, like you said, giant floppy disks and a computer keyboard, rollerblades, and hip-hop dance. Now, other than colour-changing clothing, that sums up the 90s, I think.
Yeah,
obviously. But yeah, I mean, it was a massive area, and I think I think the 80s and 90s were like the complete different end of the resorts where we stayed at, which is probably why we didn't see them. And like we mentioned before, what was going to be the second wave of Pop Century Resort in the end became the art of animation. So yeah.
One thing I'll say in its favour is it's a little bit more central than the All Stars. So as a value resort, it's a little bit more centralised for the different parks, because the All Stars are very close to Blizzard Beach, very close to the Animal Kingdom. Pop Century isn't actually a huge distance away from the All Stars, but it is a little bit more towards Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, same with the moderates, isn't it?
Yeah,
in its area.
It's pretty close to Caribbean Beach, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's literally you come out of Caribbean Beach and it's just on the other side of the road.
Yeah. So probably location-wise, it is a little bit more central.
And also, there's a few things here. As of April 2012, refrigerators and internet access are now complimentary, which I think I think fridges are a great thing. It was definitely the thing that we noticed the most when we were there, is that we didn't have a fridge. And then for the second and third week, the second week we was on iDrive in an apartment type complex. It was a Hilton, but it was like a suite rather than a hotel room. So like a little kitchen and that. And the week after was in Clearwater, and that also had a fridge in the Hilton. And they're so handy to have.
Yeah.
You really notice how important they are when you actually have one. So that's good. And they have pizza delivery, which right to your room, which is quite good.
Definitely sampled the pizza delivery.
Well, and the other thing I completely forgot about until I read it just now, and I can't believe I forgot it, was the tie-dyed cheesecake.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which apparently you can only buy there.
Yeah, I don't think I've tried it, but I've seen it.
Yeah, I'm not a massive cheesecake fan, so I didn't have it. But I remember every day I was like, that looks like fun. They really look like fun. The only thing I remember from the breakfast was how hard it was to get fresh fruit. And I think like every day Lindsay wanted pancakes, but she wanted strawberries, and the closest we could get was like some syrupy kind of strawberry, like sliced strawberry stuff.
Hmm.
It was that was a bit disappointing, but other than that, I mean, I couldn't really fault the place. The staff were great. The pool bar was good. We went back there a few times, and yeah, just really enjoyed it. So I've got a lot of good memories at Pop, and I would certainly not hesitate to go back there unless I had a really good deal on one of the others. I suppose, the one thing about the value resorts in general compared to the moderates even, which we have mentioned already, is of course dining plan. And I think that really is a thing. I think if we were going and the dining plan wasn't really going to factor into things, it's a no-brainer because the amount of money you'd save on another resort. But if the dining plan was something you really wanted to have, then obviously that's probably a good reason to invest in one of the moderate ones. But no, so I certainly wouldn't have any hesitations going back. So so that's my view on the Pop Century anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Anything anyone wants to add on that, or?
No, I mean it's good. Just I remember when we first went, first couple of times we went, and they brought out free dining. Originally, it was included with the values, and they were just trying to literally get people to stay on site. But then over time, they've changed it, and I think last year they had free breakfast on the value resorts, and then I think it was like a quick service dining plan on the moderates, and then you had to go up to, actually, Saratoga Springs and Old Key West were the kind of bottom end of the full dining plan. So yeah, if you want the free dining, then you've got to go up market. But when we priced it, you could get Old Key West with the free dining for about the same price as staying in a value resort and then buying the dining plan. So it was quite a good deal if you wanted to experience a better resort.
Fair enough. Right.
Caught you mid Pepsi Max there.
You did get me mid drink, unfortunately. So the next one on the list, one we're going to mention a couple of times for different reasons, but this one is the Animal Kingdom Lodge. Opened in 2001. So compared to a lot of the places to stay on site, again, one of the newer ones, really. And also home to DVC, of course, but we'll come to that a bit later on. So has anyone stayed there?
No. It was one we've looked at for our next trip. We've kind of taken it off the list due to the distance from all the other parks. And I think that's its big downfall is that it's only down at Animal Kingdom that you're really anywhere near any of the other parks. It's probably the longest distance to another park than any other hotel.
Okay.
We've visited it quite a few times because they've got a couple of cracking restaurants there. Boma, I think I've said it before, I think Boma is the best buffet breakfast on site. Not character, but in terms of the quality of the food and the variety of the food. And then when we were on the dining plan, we did eat in Jico once, and that was great. So we visited the resort, and it's an amazing resort. It's really stunning inside. Obviously African themed, but it's a bit like the African equivalent of the Wilderness Lodge. If you've never been to the Wilderness Lodge, that doesn't mean anything, but it's
we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, huge open space inside, really high, and the corridors are internal, so the corridors face into the main lobby of the hotel, and one end of it is all glass, which looks onto a savannah, and you've got different rooms, so you can get like savannah view rooms, where you can see all the, well, not all the animals, but certainly some of the animals, giraffes and various other things. So it's a great place to visit, even if you can't stay there.
I mean, it's the one that they use a lot in their marketing. I think is like a kind of shot or photo of a family on their veranda with a giraffe coming up to their balcony for grazing purposes. Which I don't think actually happens, does it? The little day, because I mean, surely a giraffe can eat a guest.
Not a whole one.
I don't even think the rooms are that close.
No, but I mean, the press photos would certainly have lead you to believe that was the case. Now, I'm going to ask the question, but I'm guessing a listener will have to answer because you've not stayed there. But I did hear a rumor that all rooms 24/7 only played Africa by Toto, which personally I don't think is a bad thing. It's a cracking song, weird video, but lots of beards, but good song. But I'm sure we'll get on your nerves after a while. But as I said, I've not seen evidence to say yes or no to that one. But yeah, so the distance thing really is a big issue for you, would you say, Paul?
Yeah, just the fact that I don't, especially with younger children, I don't think I'd be spending enough time in Animal Kingdom to warrant being that close to it, but being that far away from the other parks.
Animal Kingdom's a little bit like a Universal Studios park, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like a one-dayer.
Yeah, and I don't think that's going to change much with what they're adding, to be honest. It'll make it a full day.
I don't know. You may add another half day to it, possibly, if you're lucky. But yeah. So it's very similar to a Universal Park.
Yeah. The only other thing is that I think it's the hotel that's themed closest to one of the parks, due to the fact that the Imagineer that basically runs Animal Kingdom also designed the hotel in Joe Rohde, and I think it's kept it as close to the theme park as any of the other hotels have.
Fan of the show, Joe Rohde, by the way. Well, I mean, I don't know, but he'll have to deny it. So if he doesn't deny it, we'll just accept it.
It must be true then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's good. I mean, that's actually a good point you made there, Paul, because not just about Joe Rohde, because he's great, but the fact that there doesn't seem to be hotels themed around it. Like, there's not a... I mean, I suppose you could argue All Stars Movies has a certain kind of thing with Disney's MGM or Disney's Hollywood Studios, whatever you remember it as, but not really themed specifically to that park. Tenuously linked, I think.
Yeah.
Whilst Animal Kingdom is obviously very, very themed around that.
It's probably the only resort that's actually got an attraction in it, the same as you get in the park in terms of the animals and the safari.
Yeah. So I suppose that's really its big selling point. So its big negative is where it's located, but its big positive is also where it's located.
Yeah.
I suppose if it was located anywhere else, you wouldn't see animals.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So a bit of a mixed one on that one, but I like it. The next one is Disney's Beach Club Resort.
Okay.
So has anyone had any experience with that one?
Only to visit. Again, never stayed there. But it's actually, I mean, it's adjoined to the Yacht Club, and it's very similar to the Yacht Club. Okay. It's the same. It's styled after like a New England seaside turn of the century theme, and it's a great location. Again, it's right by Epcot. It's opposite the BoardWalk. You can get the little friendship boats, which will take you either to the studios or to Epcot or to the BoardWalk. It's got some good restaurants. But again, great location.
And as we said previously with the Yacht Club, obviously Beaches and Cream is right in the middle of both of them.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a great restaurant. And then the Yachtsman Steakhouse, that's a signature. And you got the Captain's Grill. as well, and then also the Keep Me Cafe. It's got character breakfasts, so it's got quite a few different dining choices, and you also get access to Stormalong Bay, which we talked about last time, which is like the little mini water park.
Yes. 25 years old-ish. 26 this year. 1990 it opened. 4 Diamond Award winning AAA hotel. And also, like, obviously, you mentioned about the yacht club, and the fact it's also near BoardWalk as well, and they share amenities and staff, which doesn't surprise me.
They are literally adjoined. You know, you can walk through one to the other, really.
And it's twinned with the convention centre that the yacht club has, so I'm guessing that's slap bang in the middle of the two.
Yeah, I have actually slept there, but we hadn't actually rented a room at the time.
Did you just fall asleep in reception? Yeah.
Yeah, we walked back from the studios and I think we were eating a Beaches and Cream, and it'd been a long day. That's all I can say. Beaches
and Cream is home to the kitchen sink, is that right?
That's right, yeah.
Yes.
So and then No Way Jose.
What's the No Way Jose?
No Way Jose's got, it's like an ice cream sundae. So the kitchen sink is something that you share. So it comes in a little mini kitchen sink, and I think it's 8 scoops of ice cream. There's a whole can of whipped cream and all sorts of other things on top. But No Way Jose is like an individual dessert, but it's about the size of your head, and it's got about half a jar of peanut butter in it.
Oh my God.
So it's peanut butter, chocolate fudge sauce, ice cream, whipped cream. It's about 50 calories, I think.
Yeah. Must be.
Yeah.
Must be.
I mean,
can't be that bad for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like peanut butter, but that does sound pretty horrendous. I'll tell you what, that's one thing I think I miss the most from Disney parks. Going to Disney World, shall I say, is not even the ice cream there, because I never went there, but I had too many Ghirardelli sundaes.
Yeah.
Down at,
you can't have too many. It's not possible. It's a law of physics. You just can't have too many.
That is, yeah. You've made a very valid point there. In the same way, you can't have too many free samples from the same establishment when they're giving little squares of chocolate. But yeah, I love that place. Still, at least it's still part of Disney Springs. So that's the main thing. Okay, so I mean, this obviously, as we've established, is a much better location.
Mm-hmm. It's a nice resort. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great location as well. Yeah.
So looking at a deluxe again. So yeah, okay. I mean, definitely the location of it puts it head and shoulders above most places. Mm-hmm. And yeah, for people that like to walk around hotels, that's also good, because staying there, you've got access to all of those other ones as well. So.
Yeah.
And one thing I would recommend to people, and we definitely didn't do this enough when we was at Disney World ourselves. I think sometimes it does come down to time. If you haven't got, if you're not there for like 2 or 3 weeks, just dedicated to going to the park, you might not have time to do this. But if you do have time, if you do have a few quiet days where you haven't really got anything planned, you don't really want to leave property, then going around and visiting the other hotels, I think, is a really good idea. It's something that we definitely do a lot around Disneyland Paris now. I don't think... No, actually, you know what? I've still not been in Hotel New York for some reason. But
yeah,
we've been in all the others. I mean, we always go to Disneyland Hotel because we'd like to think that we're posh for a little bit. But and also that smell. But anyway, I'm going off topic. So yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely something that you should do. And yeah, if you've got a group of hotels that are quite close by, like you have here, you've got four hotels all pretty much on top of each other. So it's a good way of knocking them out.
Definitely. And I think, if you've got free dining, then you should definitely be doing it, because some of the best restaurants are in the resorts, not in the theme parks, or not even on Downtown Disney or Disney Springs, as it's called. But yeah, using the free dining and visiting the resorts, especially the deluxe resorts, is a great way to enhance the holiday.
Yeah, I mean, I think anyone that listens to this podcast or any other podcasts that are like this, um, I think you definitely have a much better idea of what you're getting yourselves into, because I didn't. Um, I didn't really listen to Disney podcasts before my last trip to Disney World, and the amount of things that I've picked up since then, both from listening to other shows and researching a bit more myself, is ridiculous. And I was trying to get reservations for like Le Cellier, and California Grill and places like that. And I mean, California Grill was amazing. So I'm not saying to not go there, because it has its own reasons for why it's popular. But there are these places that you've talked about, and others have, that you think, wow, if I'd known that. Because I mean, the thing is, if you're Magic Kingdom, it's only a bus ride away to a hotel, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not like you're going out. You have to go like a long way out or something like that. It's hard to get to. It's actually very easy to get to from the parks.
Yeah, it is. I mean, if you can park up, if you've got a morning, plan a morning for the studios, and then take one of the little friendships, get off at one of these resorts like Yacht Club, Beach Club, have dinner, and then just walk into Epcot. You can actually build it into your plan if you think about it and do a little bit of research. And if anybody is interested, later this month, I think it's the 23rd of April, the new free dining offers are going to come out for 2017. So if you're thinking about going in 2017, free dining is expected to come up later this month.
And if people wanted to, consider booking a Disney vacation at any time, Mr. D, would there be anyone that you'd recommend sending them to?
Oh yeah, now who could that be? Let me think about that. Well, I do know somebody who's excellent, and that would be Wendy. So that's Wendy Prater, and Wendy is at Magical Journeys Travel, and she's one of our sponsors. So full disclosure there. But Wendy is somebody that is a specialist in terms of Disney. She loves Disney and is a Disney kind of authorized travel agent. She also looks after cruise line as well. So if you're interested in a Disney cruise, contact Wendy Prater at Magical Journeys Travel. And if you mention that you heard about Wendy from Dis After Dark, then you'll get $25 off your deposit with any trip package that you book. So yeah, Wendy Prater at Magical Journeys Travel.
Oh, there you go. Not that we rehearsed that or anything, because obviously we wouldn't do anything as shameless as that. But on to the next result, and the next one we're going to talk about is Disney's Wilderness Lodge, which is one that, certainly from the outside, does remind me of the one at Disneyland Paris. I can't remember its name of.
Sequoia Lodge.
Sequoia Lodge, yes.
Yep.
For obvious reasons. The fact that both refer to as lodges. But has anyone stayed there?
No.
No, but this is the one that's top of our list at the moment.
Oh, and
for our next stay.
Why is it at the top of your list?
Well, it's not much more expensive than the Animal Kingdom Lodge. The location is so much better. It's right on the lagoon, just on the way into Magic Kingdom. The only downside, and I actually don't see it as a downside, it hasn't got the monorail going through it. Mm-hmm. But you are within walking distance of one of the hotels that is on the monorail. So that's quite good. And you don't even have to get on a bus to get to Magic Kingdom. You get on a little boat that takes you across the lagoon, right into the entrance of Magic Kingdom. And again, as we said, how beautiful Animal Kingdom is, Wilderness Lodge is very, very similar in its style, but just in a much better location.
This is true, yeah. Again, stunning resort inside, and some great restaurants there. I mean, that's how we know it. Again, free dining, thank you. We visited Artist Point, which is the signature restaurant there, and Whispering Canyons Cafe, which is this kind of regular table service restaurant. That's great fun if you've got kids. They do lots of fun things with kids. The servers are good fun. Just make sure you ask for the ketchup if you go there, and then see what happens.
Well, I hope it's similar to the reaction I gave somebody a couple of years back. I was talking about this story the other day. I can't remember what brought it up, but I went to Vegas and Gordon Ramsay's Steak had just opened, which was his first restaurant in Vegas, and we managed to get it. Just was like a soft opening, so managed to get reservations for the opening week, and Vegas is expensive anyway. And it's Gordon Ramsay, so it was about $75 for a fillet steak, I think, something like that. And sure enough, I ordered said steak. A couple other people did as well, and they asked for sauce. So for a $75 steak, they asked for some ketchup and some peppercorn sauce. So that didn't go down particularly well, I've got to say.
Yeah, I got to that point and then it went dead.
Yeah. So we'll pick up the conversation there. We had a slight technical glitch there, so if you hear a disjoint in the audio, that's the reason why. So apologies, people. So listen to Paul's advice and definitely ask that if you're there.
Yeah, something fun will happen, but I'm not going to tell you what.
That's a tip. But yeah, so it's good. It's interesting that it's on your list. So I mean, that may sway your vote a little bit when it comes down to it. But yeah, I've got to say, I mean, it does look like a beautiful resort actually, and I think the location of it is pretty keen. Definitely. So what's the nearest monorail hotel? Is it the Floridian or is it Polynesian?
I think it's the Poly that you can walk to.
Yeah. Because I don't think you can get to the Contemporary because it's across the water, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it must be the Poly. Yeah. But as you said, Paul, the boat is fantastic. It's a nice little boat ride, and it takes you right to the Magic Kingdom dock, so it's perfect, really.
Much easier, you don't have to rely on the buses to go all the way around the lagoon when you can go straight across it.
does help. Does help, I think. Right, so we're gonna, after deviating away to the wilderness, we're gonna go back to the familiar, because for some reason it must be the random generator of results that Chris set up for us. But we've got Animal Kingdom Villas, the Jambo House, and the Kidani Village. Now, I'm guessing the main hang-ups with these places, these villas, is going to be the location again.
Yeah, I mean, same basic location. So Jambo House is the main Animal Kingdom lodge, and then Kidani Village was the DVC resort that was added on. So it's adjacent to Jambo House. Now, Kidani Village, he's got its own restaurant, Sanaa, which is a cracking restaurant, and it's got the same kind of theme and feel as Jambo House. So again, you've got the savannah, you've got the animals outside. If you go there in the evening, I don't know if they still do it, but they've got like an open fire pit, and the rangers will let you use night vision goggles, and you can look at the animals in the dark.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, if you'd waited, if you went half an hour earlier, you could see the animals in the light before the sun goes down. But if you're into technology, hey, whatever pops your cork.
Well, I suppose also when you can get your table. But I'd never heard of that restaurant at all, actually, Sanaa.
It's a cracking restaurant. I mean, it's sort of African stroke Indian. So you get things which are a little bit like what we would call an Indian meal here, but it's just got a little bit of a twist on it. But yeah, it's a really good restaurant. Yes. Paul, have you eaten there?
No, I haven't. I've not actually been across there. We didn't have time to get to Animal Kingdom Lodge last time, so
it's so bloody far away.
Well, we only spent a day at Animal Kingdom, as we said earlier. So we didn't really have a lot of time to get over to the hotel. But a few of those restaurants are on the list for next time. So
yeah, highly recommend Sanaa. It's really good. You won't regret it. Plus just the location and the place and the animals. I mean, we were literally sitting at a table by the window, and it's a full window, so floor to ceiling height. And outside the window, it was like, herds of wildebeest, to quote John Cleese. But there were cranes and sort of water buffalo and all sorts of things just within stone's throw. I didn't throw any stones, but they were pretty close.
That's the same with California Grill, isn't it? Floor to ceiling windows.
Yeah.
I thought you meant that you could throw stones at the people passing by.
You kill them.
I had to really think about it because it was really weird when we went. I think because when I booked the table, I mentioned it was our. I can't remember if I said it was our honeymoon or our wedding anniversary, and it was actually both. It was our honeymoon. It was our first wedding anniversary when we went. But we ended up in the wine cellar there, so it was quite a small room, but it had like floor to ceiling windows. So we kind of just kind of got rushed through the restaurant. Really, I didn't really take too much of it in, other than the long bar and cooking area. Yeah. But
so we ended up in that wine room. That's the one right at the back on the left-hand side, isn't it?
Yeah, because we got to see the water pageant.
Yeah.
In fact, that's how I discovered the water pageant. I was like, what the hell is that? First time I'd seen it. Never been told about it. So it was a nice surprise. And what were we talking about? Oh, well, we weren't talking about it, but on last week's show, we were talking about some of the legacy members. And the woman that served us at the California Grill had been there for about 18 years, I think, at that point. I think she'd been with Disney a bit longer, but she'd been at the California Grill for about 18 years. Yeah. Through its changes, because obviously it was View at what was it called? View at the Top or
Top of the World?
Top of the World. That was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Before California Grill, but
yeah,
I mean, she was awesome, really good, and she was telling us a few stories of her time there. But yeah, so yeah, I like the floor to ceiling windows, but that was good for that. Being so high up, but to be looking over a savannah, that's something else.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you didn't throw anything at the animals. That was very kind of you. Okay, so we're going to go back around near to the beach club and to one that we talked about a little bit last week. Well, we talked about the main part of it last week, but now we're going over to the BoardWalk Villas.
Yeah, never stayed there. Obviously, been to the BoardWalk Resort, but don't know too much about the villas themselves.
I've had some friends that have stayed in the villas. They kind of reminiscent of like a little cottage rather than a villa. They've got kind of like a front garden. From the pictures I've seen, like they've got like little white picket fences outside and things like that. So it's very typical Middle America in its style, I think.
Yeah,
I don't know a lot more than that than what they've told us.
Yeah, just from what I've been reading, opened in 2002, the fourth DVC property, so one of the earlier DVC properties. Studio villas, 1-bedroom villas, and 2-bedroom villas, so pretty similar to some of the other DVC properties.
And very near the aforementioned Jelly Rolls.
Yeah.
And the Atlantic Dance Hall.
Yeah. So a great location again. Very central.
But yeah, those villas do look a little bit interesting, don't they? Apparently feature larger multi-bedroom suites. So maybe that's its main selling point.
Yeah, lots of good eating areas around there from the other resorts, because you're also pretty close to Swan and Dolphin, and then the boardwalk itself. So you got quite a few restaurants on the boardwalk.
And you're near Epcot as well, so you have that. It's definitely somewhere. Now I know about it. It's definitely somewhere that I want to investigate more when I go next time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that makes it sound like I'm going now, but I'm obviously clearly not. But when the kids are a bit older and we're doing that, then definitely.
Yeah, it's a nice little area. They just I went in the morning I think it was a couple of months ago now, because they announced that they were going to be closing the ice cream parlour on the boardwalk, which was Seashore Treats, I think it was called, and we really liked that place. It was great, but they've just announced that a new ice cream parlour is going to open up on the boardwalk. Although it sounds like it's a third-party one, so don't know if it's going to be included on the dining plan, because the one that was there before, Seashore Treats, you could get an ice cream sundae and it counted as a snack. And again, it was fantastic ice cream, and it was a pretty generous portion, let's say.
Okay.
But at least there will be ice cream on the boardwalk.
Yes. Yeah. And to be honest, that's I think out of nearly anywhere, that's one place that does need it. A boardwalk should have somewhere that you can have ice cream, surely.
Yeah, definitely. It's that kind of place.
Yeah. So, but when you can't go, when you're like me and you're poor, and you've got a family and they're young, and you can't take them to Disney World, but you still want to have that feeling of being near someone that's near Disney World. I like to listen to podcasts, much like this one actually. But there are other Disney podcasts as well, and there's one in particular that we're a big fan of. Aren't we, Paul?
Yeah, we certainly are. That would be our second sponsor, WDW Today. They're the longest running Disney Parks podcast. They've been going for 10 years now, and they've just gone past 1,500 episodes. They rebooted in January with a whole new set of cast members, Logan and the boys. But they've had some new guests like Dick Van Dyke. Everybody loves a bit of Dick. And some Imagineers. They've also got their own house band. We'd just like to point out they weren't sacked from Epcot. They were just at the end of their contract. That would be Off Kilter, formerly of Epcot's Canadian Pavilion. You can find WDW Today in all the usual places on iTunes. And you can also find them at wdwtoday.com.
Yes. And I meant to say to Logan, actually, because I know he sometimes listens, so I was out here, hi Logan, that I really enjoyed listening to his wrestling special the other week with Eric Bischoff. And they talked about, no, it was Disney themed, because they used to film WCW in MGM Studios, when they actually filmed stuff at MGM, when it was the studios.
I mean, is there a Disney and Hulk Hogan connection? Was there? Or did I imagine that in a nightmare?
No, not well. A really tenuous one is that he was a voice actor in Romeo and Juliet, which was released by Disney in America for some strange reason. But when he came to WCW after leaving WWF, when it was called that before the Pandas started causing a ruckus about it, he had like a ticker day parade at MGM Studios,
right,
announcing a big hoo-ha. So there's lots of clips of Hulk in open top cars being driven around MGM Studios with Disney characters and whatnot.
I believe one of his TV shows was filmed at MGM as well.
That
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how he got signed off. Wasn't it around the Grand Floridian?
Yeah.
I'm imagining that.
So.
Yeah. That was Thunder in Paradise.
Yes.
It was a cross between Baywatch and Knight Rider, and yes, as crap as that sounds, it succeeded in being that crap. But that's okay, because Hulk Hogan doesn't listen to this podcast, so we're fine. But Logan, good one that was. So that just brings us to our last resort for this round. Another short episode of this podcast, and that's Disney's Polynesian Villas and Bungalows.
Now, I recently listened to Len Testa, who's also part of the WDWZD crew, talk about his stay in the Polynesian, one of the Polynesian bungalows. Did any of you guys hear that?
I did not.
Yeah.
It sounds like they're an enormous amount of money. So expensive. I can't remember what it cost him per. He did it on points, and he worked out the cost based on the number of points and what he could have got with those points at a different resort. And it's wow. I don't remember exactly what it came out at, but it was a lot of money.
He wasn't particularly happy because they kept him waiting for his room.
Yeah.
And he worked out how much it had cost him to wait for his room after the check-in time. Only to get there and be told that the room was actually ready, and they hadn't told.
But they do sound fantastic, and what location? You can watch Wishes from your bungalow balcony or whatever.
From your jacuzzi or hot tub.
Yeah.
From what I could work out.
From your bog, probably.
Well, that'll be right up Craig's alley. He'll be saving his money as we speak. Wowzers.
Yeah, they're a bit special, I think.
One thing we didn't talk about, because obviously we've talked about the Polynesian resort. We've talked about the Polynesian resort, haven't we?
Yeah, we did, yeah.
First one, I think.
Yeah.
But we didn't mention this, and I mean, it's appropriate to bring it up now, because it's still in the same locale. But did you know it's where the Beatles broke up?
Yeah. It's where John Lennon signed the contract.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
After he failed to turn up at the meeting in New York.
That's right.
He went on a holiday with his mistress.
Yeah.
And was in a room at the Polynesian.
There you go.
That wasn't Yoko then, was it? Or was that you?
No.
No.
It
was pre-Yoko?
No, post-Yoko.
Post-Yoko.
Post, yeah.
You come on. The real reason the Beatles split up was because of Yoko. This is after Yoko.
Yeah.
But while he was still with Yoko, so it gets very confusing.
Oh, yeah.
But, it's 1974 as well. Which is, funny when you think, the Beatles split up, well, as we knew it, the Beatles split up, was it 1970? 71?
I don't know, I'm vague about that, really.
Yeah.
It was around that time, wasn't it?
Can't believe we're talking about Beatles and Craig's not on.
Yeah. Did you know that...
shouting this right now.
Remember Nixon, Tricky Nicky?
Yeah.
Remember he gave that speech about...
I am not a crook.
That's it. That speech took place in the Contemporary Hotel.
Wow.
There you go. Piece of trivia.
This has
Useless
been the backdrop
trivia.
of a lot of things.
Yeah.
Thank God JFK wasn't shot there.
Well, there is a theory.
Well, yeah, there was a theory they actually built Walt Disney World up in 1963, then shot him, then took it all down, dismantled it, and then built it back up in 1971. It makes logical sense.
Used to have a grassy knoll.
Would explain a lot. So other than them being very, very expensive, does anyone have anything else they want to add to the Polynesian villas and bungalows?
I think that one's a bit of a bucket list one. But yeah, I mean, obviously it sounds amazing. Fantastic location. They sound really luxury in terms of the how they're appointed. And then you're on the monorail route for Magic Kingdom and easy to get to Epcot. So yeah, must be nice.
But yeah, I think you're right. It's probably a pipe dream for most of us. I don't know. That's the thing as well. I mean, the thing with the very expensive resorts, I suppose we're the wrong demographic, really, because if you can afford it, you'll stay in it, and if you can afford the prices that they charge for those kind of rooms, you're probably not even wondering how much it costs. But certainly for people that need to try and do things on a bit of a budget, it's a massive, massive factor.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that for the sake of a 2-night stay, potentially a 2-night stay at one of these bungalows is probably what it would cost me for a trip to stay at to stay on iDrive or something like that for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Potentially. I mean, I haven't obviously looked into it, but I know just how much those things cost sometimes, and to me, I just wouldn't be able to justify it, the price of those. But it's, as you say, it's a bucket list thing, so it's that being able to say that you've done it.
Yeah.
Isn't it really? I suppose so. Or maybe you can get a comp. Maybe someone knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. Then comp us. That'd be great.
If I win a huge amount of money on the lottery, I'll take us all out there. How's that?
Oh, that's very kind of you. But I'm fine at an all-star. I'm fine
Yeah.
to go back to how you how you used to live your life.
Okay, then I'll throw in pizza then at the All-Star.
Well, there you go then.
All right then.
Sorted.
Good.
Hang on. That's a good point actually. Let me just double check. I won a Lotto Lucky Dip. It doesn't sound like I won the £10 million last night on the lottery. Yeah, no, I'm not treating anyone to anything either.
But that lucky dip, that could be the one.
You never know. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
God, that would have been a fun podcast, wouldn't it? If I'd have, I'll just set my lottery ticket from last night and then announce on the podcast that I'd won, but no. There you go. So, well, with that in mind, to start from the top again, the results that you have to vote for are Disney's Pop Century Resort, Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge, Disney's Beach Club Resort, Disney's Wilderness Lodge, Disney's Animal Kingdom Villas Jambo House and Kidani Village, Disney's BoardWalk Villas, and Disney's Polynesian Villas and Bungalows. So, voting will be open shortly, so check that out. Make your vote count, as they say over here when we have a general election. That means a lot. And vote for the person you want in. But yeah, and I think actually, if you really want to be sneaky, not that I should be recommending this, but I think if you tick more than one box, you can vote for multiples. But that's that is slightly cheating the system a little bit. But if you've got two, you really can't decide between them. Maybe that's what you want to do. Just throwing it out there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so we'll open that up and we'll have the results in 2 weeks' time. I believe we'll be back next week with another normal episode of Dis After Dark, possibly with other people of the team. Who the hell knows? But until next week, I think that's goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from him.
And it's goodbye from me.
Oh, there you go. We'll see you in a week's time.